Elon, since all these senators, Democrats, organizations all tweet the same thing, which comes from the same think tank. Isn't that manipulation? Isn't that messing with the algorithms? Isn't that just a kind of voter fraud when we can't even have a real conversation with the people we're voting for because they're continuously having these canned conversations, bragging about they're all synced as one. And then they all sync as one to close down free speech. Elon, please. The only reason why I voted for Trump was because of you and J.D. Vance and Kennedy. You know, I really felt like Kennedy was going to do, what we were promised for 30 years. You know, the Democrats just promise you everything and then do nothing but steal from you. So, yeah, I voted for Trump this time. And I've been harassed no end for it. And I'm asking, can we fix Twitter so the voting manipulation from these politicians who, instead of showing us who they really are and who their loyalties are, which they bragged about during that meeting, we're synced, we're one, that's my Murphy crew, should we be all just repeating the exact same thing over and over again? Or should we be actually an individual putting our ideas out there? You're the one who said, you are the news now, you are the reporter now. How can you be a reporter when these same people who have manipulated and destroyed free speech can continue to abuse X by mass reporting people, and especially when they're using our goddamn tax money? Come on. That's what you talk about all the time. You just talked about it on the Joe Rogan show. Alright? So, I've been banned for Twitter. They don't tell me how much. I went and did some research. That means it's probably going to be manually checked. It will be 24 to 48 hours, which is after the election. So, I can't post or hashtag and send my articles out about the Waterbury corruption. I can't show the world how they purposely will stand in front of you, hide, signal each other to keep themselves from talking to somebody. And it's not like we have fair news reports. I saw Channel 3 trying to manipulate the talking points about healthcare. Why can't we have a real conversation that says, the Democrats set it up to expire. We had the promise that this was the first steps to universal health care. Obviously, now that the Democrats have found a way to use it as a personal slush fund, we're not going to get universal health care. So why are we going to let them keep stealing from us? Can't say that. And Channel 3 is not going to say that. It's insane. And then what I'm talking about is how the nonprofits have been abusing the system by punishing anybody who they assume voted for Trump. And I can't show anyone that. I can't even go and talk to my representatives who represent me, who want me to vote for them. When I ask them a question, they hand me a business card, which they never return my phone calls. I'm still waiting for the mayor of Waterbury to call me. And it's election day, and if you watch the video, you can see he said he promised, and there's two videos where you can see I gave him my name and address and told them to call me, and never once called me, which is hilarious because after a victim asks, you know, you think they would want to do everything instead of manipulating the system, manipulating media, manipulating the public to believe, you know, they're trying to do good when they just want to steal from us. And it is so bad. And they're using X, and they got me suspended. And I don't know for how long. So, Elon Musk, I'm on YouTube because I got suspended off of Twitter, or X, sorry about that, because I used an IP address for a mass attack on my account, and I could prove the person didn't live in Connecticut. He lived in an area, and I you know how IPs, it just gives you the area, which was right over a Democratic think tank. Whoa, wow, isn't that amazing? So, shouldn't that be illegal? Shouldn't it be considered, you know, corruption and manipulating people, the polls and everything so they can cover up their crimes? All I want X to do is to friggin' get everybody off who are bots or trolls, who are paid to manipulate the public so we can really talk to each other without having to worry about losing our jobs or getting banned or mass reported for saying something that is 100% true. You know, it's the reason why we have a woman now who's yelling at a guy who literally said straight women like dick. And because of the political manipulation and everything, we're supposed to accept these men who have domestic violence, drug charges, just narcissistic, misogynistic, horrible people who now say, I'm female, so they can harass us? Come on. Can you help us with this? Thanks.